Nate's team started throwing punches at my security guards. My security guards dropped his team, and it just...
Gervonta "Tank" Davis shocked everyone when he hit Jake Paul with a chair during their recent press conference. Jake brushed it off, saying he'll get his revenge in the ring. During their face-off, Tank mocked Jake, calling him an out-of-shape heavyweight with no real boxing skill, and reminding everyone that size doesn't guarantee victory. He boldly promised a knockout, but that claim sparked backlash, with fans and analysts calling him delusional for thinking his lightweight power could hurt someone nearly 60 pounds heavier. Even his coach, Calvin Ford, has admitted he's a bit concerned about the matchup.
Facing off. He just did. I've seen other face-off this Tank done. He gets in their face and they're intense and he looks good. He looked very meager up there. You've had 8 fights and you're gonna go tangle with Tank Davis. And the story instantly comes out. Jake is so much bigger. There is such a compliment to Jake within that insult. It is
Since their face-off in New York, fans have noticed Gervonta "Tank" Davis looking distant and frustrated, almost like he's lost interest. But things exploded when Jake Paul pushed his buttons by taking shots at Tank's personal life. Tank snapped, hurled a chair at him, and declared the fight personal. Jake didn't hold back either, mocking Tank's ankle monitor and legal troubles, and even pulling a shocking stunt by sending clowns on stage to taunt him, saying, "Any man who puts his hands on a woman is a clown."
You're the clown, Gervonta. Any man who puts his hands on a woman is the clown.
It looks like Jake Paul is turning up the antics before facing Gervonta "Tank" Davis, just days after their New York press conference. Jake posted an AI-generated clip that made it look like he and Tank were kissing, which Tank felt went way too far. While some fans found it funny, others said Jake crossed the line. And reports suggest Tank's camp even considered pulling out of the fight over the stunt.
This face-off, Henry, what are your thoughts here?
You're hearing that shit from me. That's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like
cringe about it.
He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy to me is dangerous. I think Tank Davis is going to put the hands on him, but I like it, bro. I will say something about Jake Paul. He's brought a lot of attention to boxing. Tank Davis guaranteed $40 million.
If you were in that position.
Tank's coach, Calvin Ford, has already raised concerns about the gloves. Jake Paul's father, Gregory, claimed Ford asked for smaller gloves for Tank, while Jake would use the standard ones, supposedly to make Tank's punches more lethal. Jake's camp saw it as a red flag, accusing Team Davis of trying to bend the rules because they know it's a tough matchup. Ford didn't deny the request, but said it was about fairness, insisting Jake's gloves didn't feel right. The debate quickly went viral, leaving fans questioning whether Tank's team might be losing confidence.
You can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him. Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way.
And maybe he does. The weight issue, however, hasn't gone away. During the New York event, when the host announced the fight would be at 195 pounds, Tank quickly corrected him, saying it was supposed to be 190. His frustration was clear. And that brief exchange spoke volumes. For a fighter who spent his career at 135, even a few extra pounds can make a huge difference, let alone 60. Still, Tank isn't backing down. In several interviews, he's reminded everyone that weight doesn't equal skill, saying power, timing, and heart win fights, and he's got all three. He keeps promising a knockout, and maybe, just maybe, he truly believes it.
Pounds, a 5'7" wingspan. Tank fighting me would be a fairer matchup. We're basically the same size. And you wonder why fans think Jake's fights are rigged? Because every time we see some nonsense like this, it feels like WWE with boxing gloves. Here's the kicker though. Jake threatened to sue anyone who calls his fights rigged. Yeah, you know, the same guy who preaches freedom of speech now wants to ban opinions. After that clown show with Mike Tyson that left everyone scratching their heads.
Calvin Ford doesn't sound quite as confident. Speaking to the media, he said, "I just want Tank to get paid and get out safe," a comment that showed how much Jake's size advantage is on their minds. Jake, on the other hand, is soaking up the spotlight. He showed up to the Miami press conference in a $3 million Bugatti Chiron with streamer Adine Ross filming the whole thing, while Tank arrived in a sleek black Ferrari SF90. Both made flashy entrances, but Jake's confidence stole the show. He told reporters, "I'm the bigger man, the better athlete, and the smarter businessman." Tank shot back instantly, calling him a YouTuber pretending to be a fighter.
About, hey, Bigfoot versus Littlefoot, Andre the Giant versus Wee Man. Man, this is gonna be better than damn Circus Olay. Yeah, they gonna look weird as hell in the ring together, man. You see how big Jake Paul is? 200 plus pounds? Man, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Yeah, the circus continues. This is why I can't stand them.
Mike Tyson has also spoken highly of Jake Paul's power ahead of the fight with Gervonta Davis, admitting he was sore for days after sparring with him, though that might have more to do with Tyson's age than Jake's punch. Still, praise from a legend like Tyson is a big deal. It gives Jake the kind of credibility he's been chasing for years, especially as he pushes to be seen as a legitimate boxer, not just an entertainer.
Problems in the last month or so and rumors about his retirement. I don't think it's a massive shock that he is taking this Jake Paul fight if it is going to go ahead, purely for the reason that it's a lot of money for maybe not the most difficult job that he's going to have in his career. So it's a strange one, but yeah, it's just another kind of day in the sport, really.
Crazy as it sounds, Jake Paul isn't slowing down despite all the chaos and criticism around his career. The 28-year-old from Ohio insists he's after a real-world title, though fighting Tank won't get him any closer. It's an exhibition, not a sanctioned match. The fight won't affect rankings, belts, or records, but it'll definitely deliver on money and attention. Jake's business partner and most valuable promotions co-founder, Nakisa by Darian, has already cleared up the confusion, making sure everyone knows exactly what kind of fight this is.
This when you're in your 40s. You don't do this now when people want Shakur, when you fall to a draw and Lamont Roach should be next. We get all of that. Let me tell you where I am. The fight is scheduled and it's going to happen. Now!
According to By Darian, the fight is officially set at a 195-pound limit and fully approved by the Athletic Commission. It'll go 10 rounds of 3 minutes each, with both fighters using 12-ounce gloves. 3 licensed judges chosen by the commission will be ringside, meaning there will be an official scorecard and a declared winner if it goes the distance. Both fighters are also undergoing full US ADA testing. Just like in any sanctioned world title fight.
Actually retired out of the sport because he's been, making claims saying that he's done and that he's about to retire. Basically, he doesn't want to do this no more. And I feel like, he got the big fight, and there's really no bigger fight than this. There's just no bigger fight than this, bro. At first.
That announcement was supposed to silence those calling the event fake. But it didn't. The word exhibition still looms large, making many in the boxing world uneasy, especially Paulie Malignaggi. Never one to hold back, Malignaggi called the whole thing a circus, insisting people don't understand what it really is. It's not a real fight. It's an exhibition, he said bluntly. He added that while Jake doesn't fix fights, since doing that in a sanctioned match would be a federal crime, he does carefully pick opponents who are either too small or well past their prime.
Instead of giving us the rematch with Roach, he's going to fight Jake Paul. Now, this is where you have a chance to stand up as fans. Don't pay for it. Don't watch it. But we know.
Malignaggi went even further, pointing out that since the fight isn't sanctioned, fans can't legally bet on it. That's the thing, he said. When you make it an exhibition, you remove the gambling angle because they can't allow betting on something that could be staged. That's why they had to make the Tyson fight official people wanted to bet. He called the whole setup wacky and unpredictable, suggesting this event might turn out to be more of a spectacle than an actual competitive fight.
Get an actual real boxer for real boxer who is a knockout artist, who is still in his prime, and now you put him in this exhibition. This just shows me right now that the sport is officially gone, and the only hope we have is September 13th. Canelo and Bud Crawford.
Malik Nagy still mentioned Canelo and Bud Crawford, but gave some honest thoughts on how the fight could go if it's real. He said that if it's not staged or treated like a sparring session, Tank might have a shot depending on the glove size. According to him, Jake is about 100 pounds heavier, which is a huge difference. With smaller gloves, Tank could hurt Jake if he lands clean. But that same setup could also allow Jake to seriously damage Tank because of the massive size gap.
I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said his boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. What do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE, so
right.
It's like, at least that's happening and it's getting something to talk about, something to watch. And
the size difference has been the biggest talking point since the fight was announced, with fans stunned that Gervonta Davis agreed to fight anywhere near 190 to 195 pounds when he has spent his entire career around 135, even if it's just an exhibition. No fighter that's small has ever seriously stepped into cruiserweight range against a naturally much bigger opponent. And people still can't believe Tank is willing to do it.
It's boxing.
Maybe
right.
so.
I just hope we get the Shakur fight before that moment. So for me, that Tank fight, I mean, as I understand it, Tank's fighting Jake Paul, which is the most bizarre thing ever, but I'm sure it'll do massive numbers. And I don't know what'll happen with the Lamont Roach fight, but I just hope that...
Malik Nagy's comments about the gloves weren't random. The fight will use 12-ounce gloves, which are larger than standard pro gloves. That means less damage per punch, but more padding for both fighters. It's a plus for Gervonta since it offers extra protection from Jake's heavier shots, though it also reduces the power he can generate from his smaller frame.
He has to be called out in this too. They have one of the biggest stars in boxing, and they're putting him in this farcical fight. And they are struggling for survival, PBC. I mean, they are just falling apart. You know, the Pacquiao fight did terrible. Terribly promoted. Pacquiao was hardly available. I mean, it was just that they were too cheap to hire Pacquiao.
Jake, on the other hand, doesn't seem bothered by any of the details. He's been hyping the fight in his usual way, and even revealed on the Double Coverage podcast that there's a huge knockout bonus on the line. He didn't say how much, but called it big. Big money, explaining that whoever scores a knockout or even a TKO will get an extra massive payday.
It will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominant at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy.
Crawford's point is simple. Gervonta Davis is stepping too far outside his natural weight class. A lightweight facing someone who's competed at cruiserweight isn't just bold, it's risky. Jake might not have Tank's experience, but he has that one punch power, and that's what makes the fight dangerous. Crawford isn't criticizing, he's warning. From a fighter's perspective, this matchup looks like a potential mismatch that could turn ugly fast if Jake lands his right hand clean. What do you think? Share your thoughts below and make sure to subscribe for more.